Melania Trump needs public relations help. While the president's approval ratings hit a new low this month, his wife's are on the rise. A recent CNN/Org poll found that 52% of Americans like Melania Trump, an increase of 16% since her husband took office. That far exceeds the favorability ratings of first ladies such as Michelle Obama and Laura Bush in their first years. But it's unlikely that Melania Trump will be able to stay popular without help. The First Lady refuses to take control of her public image and needs experts to help mold the image she wants to convey. Bloomberg reports that Melania Trump hasn't yet hired a press secretary, which is highly unusual. Every First Lady since Jackie Kennedy has hired a press secretary at this point in her husband's presidency, notes the report. A press secretary is someone Melania could trust to help her causes, select news outlets for interviews, and give pointers. While a rep for Mrs. Trump has spoken out against claims made that she and Donald don't sleep in the same bedroom, it's not the same as a press secretary actively working on her behalf. Kate Anderson Brower, author of First Women, The Grace and Power of America's Modern First Ladies, says it's strange that Melania Trump hasn't hired a press secretary by now, and there's a lot of help she's in need of. There are so many requests coming into Melania right now, and there's no one there to decide what's worth doing and what's worth skipping. It just leaves this big hole which people fill with their own interpretations of her. They're judging whether she's smiling enough and what she's wearing. But if she had a press secretary, she could do very coordinated interviews with media outlets to shape her image the way she wants to be seen. Additionally, Melania's great wealth and really unattainable beauty make it hard for everyday Americans to relate to her. A press secretary would help Melania talk about those areas of her life that an average citizen could understand, such as raising 11-year-old son, Barron. She and Barron will move to the White House after he finishes school in June. The First Lady did reach out more when she read to children at a New York hospital a few weeks ago and visited sick children in Washington, D.C. to commemorate their health garden. She's also hosted a few events at the White House and been on hand to greet state visitors and their spouses. Aside from that, she's largely been unseen. Brower thinks that if Melania Trump had hired someone a long time ago, she may have been steered from the awkward cause she said she'd champion in regards to cyberbullying. Given that her husband is notorious for his bully-like Twitter rants, it wasn't the most appropriate cause. Moreover, she hasn't followed through on that pledge. The report further states that no key figures in the anti-cyberbullying community have heard from the First Lady or her staff. At this point, it appears that Melania is breaking a promise she made. Other mistakes that Melania has made may have been better avoided had she hired a communications professional that noticed the plagiarism in her speech at the 2016 Republican convention, in which multiple sections of it were borrowed from former First Lady Michelle Obama. Melania Trump is giving off a vibe of being indifferent to her role as First Lady, according to the report. Her approval rating based on a CNN/Org poll was 52%, an increase of 16% since her husband took office. That result was far higher than ratings Michelle Obama and Laura Bush had during the first years that their husbands were in office. Will Melania Trump hire a press secretary to help her before her